WNEM TV5 starts now with breaking news.
So experts are describing this as a 500-year event. It's going to have a major impact on this community and on our state for the time to come.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer spoke from Midland High School as it serves as an emergency shelter amid catastrophic flooding. At least 10,000 mid-Michigan residents have been forced to flee their homes following days of heavy rain that caused dams to breach Tuesday evening. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meg McLeod.
And good evening, everyone. I'm David Custer coming to you live tonight from downtown Midland. It looks like we are standing on the shores of the Tittabawassee River, but actually we are on Ashman between Ann and Main Street. Take a look behind me right here. You see that green roof? That is the farmers market, and right behind it you can see the top of the Tridge. Now, the Tittabawassee River has leveled off as of right now. We just received word from the National Weather Service that it crested at 35 feet. All afternoon we were told that the level was 35 feet and rising. It was supposed to crest tonight between 8 or 9, but again the National Weather Service says it has crested at 35 feet. Now, residents that live along or near the Tittabawassee River, they are used to the flooding, but never have they seen anything like this. TV5's James Felton spoke with some of those folks. He joins us live now in Midland. James.
David, I was out at the Tridge earlier today around the noon hour, and even then there were lots of people gathering around to get a glimpse of history. I did talk with a Midland resident who saw the flood of '86, and he thought he'd never see something like a 100-year flood again. Well, turns out he's right, because officials are calling this a 500-year flood. Also talked to somebody who owns a food truck who tells me they were supposed to have the farmers market at the Tridge earlier today. That's not happening now. They are working to try to reschedule the farmers market for Saturday. Also ran into a woman who tells me her daughter just bought a house in Sanford, and she is eagerly awaiting to see what happened to her home, and that's a situation a lot of mid-Michigan residents find themselves in. And everyone I talked to at the Tridge said that while it's interesting to see this high water levels, they feel badly for everyone who is dealing with the impacts of this flood. And if you'll notice, it is a sunny day here, clear sunny day, and the Midland City Manager, Brad Kay, says don't let this nice weather fool you into thinking that this is over, because it's not.
We have gone in this city through many large storms. We've had many floods that have impacted our residents, the properties within the city, and certainly the services that we can provide during these flood events. We have never been through an event such as we're experiencing today, and over the last few days, and we'll continue to experience over the next few days. The rain event was one thing. We had a number of inches of rain fell. They fell over a wide area. They're channeling through the river valley. They are now coming down the river valley towards the city, and they will flood our community, and we will have to deal with that.
And Kay also urged residents to do two things. Please do not drive around barricades. It could put you in an unsafe situation. And please do not attempt to go home until you are told to do so, even though many homeowners are probably anxious, wanting to know how their homes are doing right now. Reporting live and local in Midland, James Felton, WNEM.
James, thank you. Now, WIXOM Lake is considered ground zero for this flooding crisis. The EDENVILLE Dam gave way yesterday afternoon, sending water flushing and flooding this whole area heading south. And so tonight, TV5's Jonathan Jackson is up there showing us that WIXOM Lake is practically gone. He was talking with folks up in that area and has more for us.
This is what's left of WIXOM Lake after massive flooding caused the EDENVILLE Dam to overflow last night, leaving several homeowners along the shoreline with broken decks and washed-up boats.
You see all theirs?
But those who live on higher ground say it could have been even worse.
We were close. Yeah, we were like right on the edge to leaving.
Couple Ron and Donna Bila have lived along WIXOM Lake in Billings Township for almost 8 years now, and say that the water rose so quickly it not only washed their boat ashore, but nearly reached their back porch. And to give you guys an idea of how high this water got, the Bilas tell us it came all the way up to their top step, which almost forced them to evacuate.
But the way it was coming up, it just wasn't stopping. It was going up 6 inches, 8 inches in less than an hour.
Living along the lake, the Bilas say they're well aware of the risks that come with the territory. But after hearing about the dam's collapse, they say this was an event that not even they were prepared for.
Everybody understands that. But this one, I don't think anybody's seen this one coming.
In Gladwin County, Jonathan Jackson, WNEM TV5.
Now, we did some digging on that Edenville Dam, and listen to this. The operator of the Edenville Dam had his license revoked by federal regulators in 2018 over concerns that the spillway wouldn't be able to avert failure during a historic flooding event like the one we are experiencing right now. We'll have much more on that tonight on TV5 News at 6. For now, reporting live in downtown Midland, that is, I'm David Custer. Meg, back to you.
Thank you, David. And make sure you stay with TV5 and WNEM.com as we continue to follow the very latest on these floodwaters on air, online, and on the TV5 mobile app. And you can download our app for free right now for all of those latest updates from the App Store and Google Play. A live look over Saginaw as sunny, dry weather reveals the flooding damage throughout mid-Michigan. And as thousands try to clean up, many are praying for drier days ahead. So what's coming our way? Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman joins us now from Studio B with an eye on our forecast. Hi, Brian.
Hi there, Megan. Thankfully, we can say up front, weather just like today's will continue tomorrow, Friday, and even when rain chances do return over the weekend, we're talking more about isolated showers rather than a widespread historic rainfall, of course, that many of us were subjected to at the beginning of the week. So let's focus on a bit of good news here first tonight. We take a look at the river level on the Tittabawassee River at the gauge in Midland. And as you heard James and David talking about, the river has crested just over 35 feet in the last couple of hours. So we're going to avert a much higher peak that was originally expected near 38 feet. But you notice here, as we look at the trends here over the next really couple of days, it's going to take us until sometime on Friday afternoon, possibly even Friday night, to even get the river back below major flood stage. That's back below 28 feet. So the flooding issues that we're going to have in the, that are unfolding, I should say, in the Midland area will continue into this weekend. As we look farther down the line here, all of that water from the Tittabawassee River has to make its way into the Saginaw River Basin. We're at 21.27 feet at the Saginaw gauge as of about 4 p.m. Expected to crest Friday afternoon at around 22.3 feet. So you can expect some low-lying area flooding in the downtown Saginaw area and likely including Bay City as we roll toward the weekend as well. Other river flood warnings remaining in effect for the Saginaw, Tittabawassee rivers, Rifle River, as well as Chippewa and Pine rivers all around the region. And all of these flood warnings remaining in effect until further notice, on top of the area flood warnings that we see for all of Aranac and Gladwin counties. These, though, thankfully will be expiring as of 7 p.m. this evening. We'll take a look at what's ahead for the weekend forecast, as well as a look at some of our other area rivers. That's coming up.
And the truth is we're all grown-ups here. We've all learned how to keep things more hygienic, safely distance ourselves. And these arbitrary laws and rules are crippling Michigan and devastating families. And so this isn't even really about haircuts.
Every state is now in some phase of reopening. For some, it's not fast enough, but for others, the pace is frightening. As Elise Preston reports, the reopenings come as the number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. crosses 1.5 million.
Protesters got angry outside the Michigan State Capitol in Lansing Wednesday as police started handing out tickets. Some were cited for disorderly conduct for taking part in Operation Haircut. Hairdressers offering free haircuts to protest the small businesses that are not allowed to open because of the state's stay-at-home order.
I have 18 hairstylists, and we want to get back to work.
Connecticut eased some restrictions Wednesday. Restaurants with outdoor dining like BJ Ryan's Bankhouse in Norwalk opened for the first time in more than 2 months.
We have had both of our restaurants closed. Doing takeout service did not make economic sense for us at the time. So we are very excited that we can actually open the patios.
Here in New York, the city will start installing UV lights on some buses and trains. The high-tech lights help kill bacteria and will cost the city $100 million.
The virus is zapped away when the UV light flashes and will only be used when passengers are not on board. In Chicago, production has resumed inside Ford's assembly plant after it was halted Tuesday when a worker tested positive for the coronavirus.
And social distancing really doesn't work.
I just don't feel it's safe enough yet.
People did feel safe enough to start venturing out to Disney Springs in Orlando. The shopping and restaurant complex launched a phased reopening Wednesday. Masks and temperature checks required. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
The president takes to Twitter to target the Michigan Secretary of State. Still ahead, why he's threatening to pull funding and how the state is responding.